Now, there is still no peace treaty tonight in the turf war over a vacant lot in downtown Kalamazoo. Dozens of homeless people refuse to leave that area as police try once again to move them out. News Channel 3's Maria Serrano is joining us in studio to explain why police say the solution, Maria, to the problem is just a few blocks away.
That's right, Andy, and we were there all day covering this, and I can tell you there's plenty of space at the Gospel Mission in downtown. Officials say 360 beds are available every night, but on average, between 150 to 200 are empty. A crowd of homeless people setting up shop across from the closed encampment. The city of Kalamazoo shut it down 1 week ago, citing safety concerns, increased violence, and crime. Still, these people say they're not going anywhere. Both Mayor David Anderson and Police Chief Vernon Coakley tell News Channel 3 they're giving people plenty of options and they're refusing them.
So how do you deal with this? Well, it ends up at some point you draw a line and say, well, this is not acceptable. This behavior is not acceptable anymore.
Mayor Anderson says there are a handful of people who still don't want the help. Have you heard reasons as to why they're not taking advantage of these services?
Sure, a whole variety of reasons, just like, so yes, we know the reasons. Don't like it, don't want to be there, don't want the rules, have pets.
According to the Gospel Mission, a total of 360 beds are available every night. More than half typically go empty.
A few of them have attachments, meaning they have animals and things that they don't want to just leave behind.
Like Yancy Barrett, who lives near the closed Ampersee Avenue encampment and has a dog. You're here, just an honest conversation between you and I. mean, I called the shelter earlier and they said they had between 150 to 200 spaces.
Because once you get inside there, everything totally, it just changes. What the news doesn't see is the inside of how you're treated.
Even if you didn't have a pet, would you go to the local shelter?
No, we're not. No.
Can you tell me why?
Because it's foul.
Just 1 hour ago, a city spokesperson sent us a statement saying it delayed enforcement in order to inform more people there about housing options. The city's hope is for people to leave the area voluntarily by tomorrow. The time is still unclear, though. Chief Coakley says anyone who resists could be arrested for trespassing.
For the second time in as many days, Kalamazoo Public Safety goes back out again to clear out another homeless encampment, this one off Stadium Drive. News Channel 3's Amira Austin is joining us live in Kalamazoo, where, Amira, it looks like some people have already returned to that camp just hours after being told to leave.
That's right, Andy. They never really left. Hours after police have cleared 30 people out of this encampment on Stadium Drive. You can see behind me about a dozen people are still here outside the encampment in the Stadium Shops Plaza. Now, you can see behind me they have covered their belongings with tarps, and even in the rain, some say they would rather stay than go to a shelter. $50,000. That's how much the property owner says it will cost to clean up woods on Stadium Drive, where people have been camping out for weeks.
Well, they woke us up and they told us to get out, like within 10 minutes is all we had, and I lost a lot of stuff.
Plaza Corp, the owner of the land, put in a request for police to clear people out. Officers moved in along with volunteers to help with relocation services for the 30 people at the Stadium Drive encampment.
When we saw that they had been displaced, we came right in and bought them more water and food and whatnot.
While the city has been offering services and there is space available at shelters, some say those shelters aren't a solution for everyone.
Families don't want to be split up, couples don't want to be split up, and people with animals do not want to leave their animals behind.
What's left behind at the now closed encampment on Ampersee Avenue will cost the city of Kalamazoo thousands of dollars.
It will be city resources that are used, so that naturally would include taxpayer dollars.
Police resources have also been spent. City spokesperson Ryan Bridges tells me police responded to 22 calls for service at the Ampersee encampment and 7 calls to Stadium Drive in the last 2 weeks. Calls range from felony assault to panhandling.
Despite our recent operations, we've still been able to answer the call, every call that we've received.
Bridges says 35 to 45 officers have come out to force people out of the encampments. This is the second time in 2 days police have gone in to clear people out, but some keep coming back. City officials tell me everyone left willingly today and no arrests were made. Now, the property owner says he will be working with the city to turn part of this site here on Stadium Drive into affordable housing.
Right now, lawmakers on Capitol Hill are debating the price tag of President Biden's Build Back Better plan. The White House is looking at ways to fund the $3.5 trillion proposal, including closing the income tax gap. One option floating around is annually tracking financial transactions over $600. So far, it's just a proposal and one that's bringing out a lot of opinions. News Channel 3's Maria Serrano is getting an earful tonight from people all over West Michigan.
Under the Biden administration proposal, every year banks will have to report total deposits and withdrawals greater than $600 to the IRS.
It is a privacy issue that is not anything that the government would need to know or the IRS would need to know.
I think it's a significant burden, not just on the banks, but I think it's overreach on the government as well.
In West Michigan, it's a polarizing proposal. Some disagree, but some are indifferent.
I don't really think it's a problem because if you have nothing to worry about or nothing to hide, then the IRS won't be looking at it anyway.
Rob Bauman says he's in full support.
I would like to see more money collected from people who are millionaires and billionaires who are hiding their money in taxes.
The proposal is meant to help the U.S. Treasury Department zero in on tax evaders. But some bankers feel the reporting process will cost them valuable time.
But it seems to us that that this would really impose probably more burden on most ordinary folks than on folks who are really evading taxes.
Rand Painter, president for the Michigan Bankers Association, says the onus should be on the IRS,
including the trained employees to do this type of data collection rather than imposing it on the financial services industry.
The Michigan Bankers Association says when you think about your own account, housing expenses, education, and childcare, that's a lot of information, and privacy should be a big part of the conversation.
How do we ensure that the IRS, who does not have a great track record of maintaining privacy, cyber protection, absolutely assured that they'll be able to keep this information safe?
And that's an important question for an agency that faces mounting pressure to protect you.